That one's off. Y'all know I don't stand in one place, so I'm just getting everything out of the way now. Howdy, y'all. Happy Sabbath. It is just a grand occasion for me to be right here, right now, today. I thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all showed me the truth. And Pastor LeBlanc, many years ago. My message today is miracles, and you will find out through a miracle why I'm leaving. I started out with a strange verse to start out a message. Genesis 1:3. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. Is that a miracle? Yeah, that's a miracle. And then, in verse 4 and 5, and God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. So the evening and the morning were the first day. Now, this occurred before the sun was put up there, and before the moon was put up there, and all them untold numbers of stars. When did that occur? That occurred in chapter 1, verse 14 through 19. Then God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be signs for seasons and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the earth." And it was so. Then God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. God set them in the firmament of the heavens to give light unto the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. So the evening and the morning were the fourth day. What happened on day 2 and day 3?
Plants, animals, no. Dividing of the water.
The firmament.
From the dry land.
The firmament was what, though, at the time? At the very beginning of the firmament, it was heaven. Yeah, heaven. Would someone read Genesis 1, verse 6 through 8?
Then God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." Thus God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And God called the firmament heaven. So the evening and the morning were the second day.
What's going on here? What happened next? What did He do in verses 9 through 13? Would somebody read that?
And God said, "Let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the earth yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth." And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning
Then we finally get to the sun and the moon and the stars being hung in heaven. What was that first light?
Don't know.
Scientists. Them cotton-picking, frazzling scientists. They dabble in this and they dabble in that and they stumble on stuff every once in a while. Has anyone in this room ever heard of gluons before?
Say it again.
Gluon.
I think you've said it before.
I have. Gluon. There are two groups of scientists. Some scientists believe gluons are light. Some scientists believe gluons are noise. Does it matter? Do you know what gluons do? Okay, I'll cut to the chase. They hold the particles that make up atoms together. Okay? You remember hearing in the Bible or reading in the Bible where the things that are seen are made from the things that are unseen? Do we see this door? What's it made up of?
Adam.
Atoms. Do we see that wall? What's it made up of?
Adam.
Atoms. Do we see atoms?
Well,
Now we do with very, very, very strong microscopes. But not for, 6,000 years? Well, we don't know what they knew before the flood, so let's just go from the flood till now. Okay, because them people were very intelligent and they lived an awful long time, so there's no telling what all they really invented. Is there? Gluons. One group of scientists believe that it's light. And you know, the stronger you pull on the particles that make up an atom, the stronger that bond becomes. That's why when you split atoms, you don't really split everything apart. The proton stays a proton, the neutron stays a neutron, the electrons go everywhere. But you're still holding together those specific parts that need to be held together. The group that says it's light, could that be this light? What was used to make the firmament? What was used to make this earth? What was used to make water, the air we breathe, heaven? Was it electrons? Could it have been that light? Gluons, is it light? Or if these group of scientists that call it noise, are they right? Could it be the very voice of God holding this world and this universe and this entire place that we are in? Could it be His very voice that's holding all this together? Either way, it's a miracle. Either way. And I might be totally off base. But why would He create light twice?
he spake and it was done.
This world had to be made for who? Us. Everything in this world was made for who? Us. But you know, that's just one miracle. This world put here, miraculous. Another miracle, Isaiah 37, 36 and 37. Then the angel of the Lord went out and killed in the camp of the Assyrians I thought everything was off up here. It's off. It's off. Shame on me.
This is all.
Oh, now it's off. The angel of the Lord woke us up went out and killed in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. And when people arose early in the morning, there were the corpses, all dead. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went his way, returned home, and remained at Nineveh, because he was not going to allow them to go into his city. Is that a miracle? Can you imagine one angel in one night ending the life of 185,000 warriors? It's a miracle. Oh, and by the way, the king of Assyria, when he got home later on, his sons killed him. Go figure. Another one, Hezekiah. When he realized he was soon to die, what did he do? He went and he prayed to the Lord. And what did the Lord do? He saw Hezekiah's tears. And the Lord said, you will live 15 more years. Is that a miracle? Yeah. Let the hand of God work the clay for his own service. He knows just what kind of vessel he wants. To every man he has given his work. God knows what place he is best fitted for. Many are working contrary to the will of God, and they spoil the web. The Lord wants everyone to be submissive under his divine guidance. He will place men where they will submit to be worked into oneness with Christ, bearing his divine similitude. If self will submit to be worked, if you will cooperate with God, if you will pray in unity, work in unity, all taking your place as threads in the web of life, you will grow into a beautiful fabric that will rejoice the universe of God. Lift him up, 65.3. The potter cannot mold and fashion unto honor that which has never been placed in his hands. The Christian life is one of daily surrender. You know, this country, for some strange reason, over the last few years, has just totally fallen apart. Those who honor the Bible's Sabbath will be denounced as enemies of the law and order, and breaking down the moral restraints of society, causing anarchy and corruption, and calling down the judgments of God upon the earth. Who's going to get blamed for it? Yeah, we are. Let me move this around. Can you hear me better now? Okay. They will be accused of disaffection towards the government. Why? Anybody got a clue? Why? No. Because true Sabbath keepers will not worship God on Sunday. That's why. Ask me how I know. I was there from the time I was 12 until I was 54. So I know. There is a difference. There is a true difference. And it's a biblical difference. Ministers who deny the obligation of the divine law will present from the pulpit the duty of yielding obedience to the civil authorities as ordained of God. Obey the law of the land. Which do you do? Do you obey God's law or do you obey the law of the land? You know, that's in there. But you never, ever, ever, ever bend some of those laws. Because if you do, then you're walking on thin ice. As the Protestant churches reject the clear scriptural arguments in defense of God's law, they will long to silence those whose faith they cannot overthrow by the Bible. See, people that preach and speak and lift up the Sabbath day are doing it with verses in the Bible, with His own words, and nothing else. Nothing else. Because there's not one verse in the Bible that says it was changed to Sunday. But you can look in many history books and see who changed it and when. 357 A.D. A group of people got together and said, well, let's just change this. And they did. And we're still living with it today because the Protestants didn't capture the significance of this day when they set up the guidelines for being a Protestant church, other than a very few numbers of people. The Wesleyans. Check that out. The dignitaries of church and state will unite to bribe, persuade, and compel all classes to honor Sunday. The lack of divine authority will be supplied by oppressive enactments. It ain't going to get easier, folks. We're just seeing it starting to get really bad. It's going to get really worse. Liberty of conscience, which has cost so great a sacrifice, will no longer be respected. In the soon coming conflict, we shall see exemplified the prophet's words. The dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. All that came from the Great Controversy. Page 592. But it's so true. The miracles that we have at our hand are well documented. We all have the ability with true faith to call upon that. Faith. Hebrews chapter 11. Faith. What is faith? Hebrews chapter 11. Now, okay. I'm going to take my other microphone off and I'm going to put it right there. There's someone listening to me in the Philippines right now. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good testimony. The faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God, so that the things which are seen were not made of things which are visible. By faith, Abel offered to God a more excellent sacrifice. By faith, Enoch was taken away so that he did not see death. By faith, Noah, being divinely warned of things not yet seen, moved with godly fear. By faith, Abraham obeyed when he was called to go out to the place which he was to receive an inheritance. And then that brings us to now, to my recent miracles. hopefully, I can get through this. We all go through pain and hardship. We all at times feel broken and hurt. What I want us to understand is we have someone that cares. Always. I was on Facebook. I've been there. I was friends with Dunbar at the Tyler Church. Well, a friend of Dunbar's from the Philippines was a classmate of someone else from the Philippines. Dunbar and me being friends, and this other fellow and Dunbar being friends, and anyway, this other person in the Philippines sent me a friend request 2 years ago, more or less. So I accepted. I said, you know it is midnight here, and I got to get up at 3:30 in the morning, but I accepted your friend request anyway, and went on about my going back to sleep. But we talked. And I'm always posting on Facebook about the Sabbath. And I asked her one day, are you a Sabbath keeper? And she said, no, I go to church on Sunday. I said, show me. Let's just go look. You're doing it on the wrong day. So what did she do? She changed days. She goes to church on the Sabbath. She goes to an Adventist church, her and her children. Yeah. But you see, being on Facebook is sort of like, well, everybody out there knows you. So, it's rocking and rolling. This woman that friend requested me had been praying to God for years, 7+, for God to put a man in her life. And she told me, the Lord said, it's supposed to be you. And I said, you know me. Are you sure it's me? And she said, that's what I told the Lord. I said, Lord, it can't be him. You know him, Lord. No way it could be him. He rides this motorcycle. He looks like this. He's this, he's that. Lord, it can't be him. And then one day she relented. And she said, okay, Lord, if he is to be my husband, I am ready. Well, you see, there's a strange thing about the way the time is in this world, because when it's daylight there, it's dark here. Well, I know exactly when she did that. Because the Lord said to me in a dream, He said, if you want to walk with me in paradise, you will go and marry this woman. I didn't know it. She had just relented to the Lord. But in my hard-headedness, what did I do? Man, I went and got me a passport. You know, to go from here to the Philippines, all you have to have is a passport and a ticket. But you've got to come back in 30 days or less. So I did. While I was there, we got married. I'm married.
Amen.
October the 18th. But I came back. Yeah, we're going to do all of the paperwork. We're going to pay all of the fees, $6,000 and some odd dollars after you get it all said and done, and you just go through and you get it done. And it's going to take 9 months or more, usually more. And now with the way immigration is going, who knows if you will ever get in this country. But I missed one thing. I came back here. I was going to continue working. I was going to continue just doing everything just the way it was, always had been, and just live life. But I missed one major thing. I was to go and marry that woman. What did I do? I came back. Well, I sort of had to. Because to stay there, you got to get a temporary residence visa, and then you got to get a permanent residence visa, and then you're there. Okay. Well, I came back. And something just wasn't right. I was just wondering, what's the deal? What's the deal? So I'm out riding on my motorcycle. That's where I get my mind open the best. That's where I can really think. And I had a wreck, and I broke my left leg the second week of December. Can you tell it? Well, here I am. I go to get up. I can't get up. That's strange. Well, I go to get up again, and I can't get up. So I look down, and all I see is my heel. Because my foot is pointing backwards. My toes are behind me, not in front of me. That's just my heel down there. I was wearing these boots. You can see the inside of them is all scraped off. So I was working to get out of the way of the traffic there in Fort Worth, and all I could do was say, Lord, help me. And I felt my foot turn back right as I was shaking my leg. When I got to my motorcycle, I stood up and I picked it up. That motorcycle's 900 pounds. That's a miracle. But it did something. Do you know what it did? It made me realize I'm not supposed to be here. I'm in the totally wrong place. I'm supposed to be there. So my friends, don't be angry at me for doing like Abraham and going where God says, go here. I've got to go there. Is there any other way for me? No. I can't do it any other way. I've been through too much lately. He has put me here to go there. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I do know this. It's going to be to serve Him. Whatever it is. Now, I do understand that 93% of the population of the Philippines is Catholic. Boy, howdy. Well, you know what? In her family tree, she had a grandfather that made all of the trinkets and ornaments and things that they hang on the walls and set in the buildings. He even made some of the big stuff that went in the major churches. Idols, they call them. All right. Her grandma went and threw them all out and said, we're wrong. She was a non-denominational, church-going Sunday attending Christian and prayed to the Lord from the time she was a little girl. And by me saying, you're all good, you're all covered except for one thing. And she changed that one thing. The little church that she was going to was smaller than this one, and it had to close its doors because it didn't have enough funding, probably. So I'm going to have the luxury of going with my new family to pick out our new church. So it's miracles every day, every day. And we got to do it. We got to approach every miracle through faith, the same faith that I mentioned right there. It's all by faith. It's all by faith. Every bit of it is by faith. And nothing else. Because if I would have just stayed over here and worked and worked and worked, I wouldn't be where He wants me. I'm going to miss y'all. Because I've learned so much from y'all. And the main thing I've learned from y'all is the proper day to worship my God. Because it's so important. It will be the difference between life eternal and not. Eventually. And anyone that knows about it and walks away from it might not receive it. It's that critical. Once you know the truth, you cannot walk away from it. I couldn't. I can't do anything other than what I'm doing now to go there. And it's amazing. Everything just went into place. I never had a passport before. I didn't need a passport. I mean, I'm an old East Texas boy. Who from East Texas needs to go anywhere else in this world because you're already living in heaven on earth? You know? But no. Do you know what? Over there, their average temperature in the hottest month there, the high is on average 93 degrees. Wow, I was in 113 degrees temperature this last summer over here, not counting around them 2,000 degree furnaces. That made it a little hotter. The average low on the coolest month of the year, guess what it is? 72. Well, you know, I'm an old man now and I got broken bones. So where am I going to be best? Out here where it's sometimes down to 10 with snow on the ground? Or somewhere where it's 72 with sunshine and liquid sunshine? That's the only difference there is it's either raining or it ain't raining. They do have 2 months of summer. Summer, you know it's summer there because there's not raining. So, I'm ready. And I will cherish y'all every day. Every day. Lord, thank you for helping me get through this. 193.